So you want to get yourself the brand new DJI FPV drone. I'm going to be telling you a few things that you might want to know. Now it's a little windy out here, so forgive me if the audio quality is bad. Now today's video is pretty much just going to be a walkthrough about the setup and what it's like to fly. For this beautiful little drone, you're going to need three things. You're going to need the drone itself, you're going to need your remote controller, and your goggles. If you got the kit, it should all come included, so there shouldn't be any issues right there. Right here I've got my controller that comes with the DJI drone. A little antenna flips right up and everything goes pretty well. I have to say I do really enjoy the fact that the thumbsticks, as you can see, they're not there, but they are hidden right here on the inside on both sides. So hopefully you never have to lose them. It does come with an extra set just in case you do, but I think for the most part you should be pretty good. It is pretty simple to put them in there. All you have to do is just spin them on in and you should be good to go. If you did just get your kit, you should have a pair of goggles that look almost exactly like this. You'll notice right here on the front, mine has this little red thing, and pretty much that's going to be your receiver module for an analog mod. Pretty much you won't have that right away. It is going to be an additional purchase for both the faceplate and then the actual module itself. But besides that, these goggles are just like you guys will get. It comes with 4 antennas that you'll screw up here at the top and on the sides. Sometimes it can be a little finicky to get the threading just right, but just spin it around, you'll get it eventually. Don't force it, that is not what you want to do. Alright, you're all set, now you got your goggles. Now unfortunately these goggles don't come with an internal battery. That would be fairly cool, but most FPV drones you're going to be powering it with an external battery, maybe a 2S. In this case, DJI has provided their very own nifty little battery pack. Tap it once, lights come on. You can get a replacement for these for about 30 bucks. Now for most people you'll plug your power cord right in here at the side. For me, I have to plug it into this dongle. Now all you have to do is plug in your power bank and you should have power. You'll tap it once and then hold it down for a few seconds. You'll see the lights come on in a pattern and that'll let you know that it's up and running, and you'll hear the fans kick on. Unfortunately, I do have an issue with mine. I'm not sure what's going on, but I believe the cable might just be a little bit too big, or it might just not have a good connection, because if I plug it all the way in and I do it, all my lights come on, as you can see right there. I really have to force it in and jam it in for the lights to work the way that they should. I actually have to flip mine upside down sometimes and kind of tilt it upwards. And there we go. Now if you follow your instructions on your goggles display, you'll see that you will have to activate your goggles through DJI. It's a very simple process. Just follow the instructions on your phone and you'll be set in no time. Now your drone's going to come with a bag full of propellers just like this. Now you're going to have 2 counterclockwise spinning propellers and you're going to have 2 clockwise spinning propellers. The placement and orientation of each propeller is very important, so please be careful and make sure you put them on right. Your drone's going to be labeled with A's and B's, and pretty much that'll tell you which propeller to put on which arm. Now you have clockwise propellers and then you also have counterclockwise propellers. You're going to make it so that the clockwise propellers are both on the back left and the front right, and your counterclockwise propellers are going to be on the front left and the back right. Now this is very important since the propellers will spin outwards away from the camera and away from the tail, ensuring that it's able to fly properly. Now unfortunately my worst fears have been realized, and the baseball fields are actually starting to fill up with a bunch of squishy bodies, which I don't want to hit. So while flying, I'm going to ensure that I stay clear away from anybody like that. I'm not going to be doing anything too aggressive. I'm aiming more for those cinematic shots. So the next step is to turn everything on and go ahead and have some fun. That's so cool. Now we're just going to do a really quick sync clap, and we should be all set to start flying. As I'm sure you guys noticed, I've got this little lanyard, and pretty much it is very convenient to have, especially for flying while standing up. You don't always want to be sitting down on the ground, and to be able to hold your controller up like this just makes everything a little bit less sketchy. You're not going to drop it and fall out of the sky. Now you do have 3 different modes. You got normal, sport, and manual mode. I'll make a video explaining how to get the true manual mode, because it can be kind of confusing for a lot of people at first. But we're just going to send her up and I'll show you guys some really sick video. So already I can tell that the video quality is super clear. I'm going to hit this button twice to get our blades going. And we're going to go up. So as you can see, we are up in the air. So make sure to stay away from anybody that could be problematic. We don't want to scare anyone or make anyone uncomfortable. So we're pretty much just gonna stay on the outside of everything. So one of my favorite things about this thing is pretty much just the power and the control of it. I mean, the video quality is so incredible. You can feel confident going next to trees and bushes and everything like that. And it doesn't really give you any reason to get scared or worried. We're coming up on the corner. I'm not trying to drive in the street or fly, but hey, it is what it is. Just a quick reminder, make sure you follow your drone laws. Don't fly around people or property or anything like that. Here I'm at this open park. I'm not next to anybody, so overall, more or less, I'm pretty good. Let's say the drone's about 100 feet away from me, and it's pretty loud, I have to say. I'm not cranking or anything like that, but it is fairly loud drone, especially when you're punching it up into the outer atmosphere. The drone does get a fairly good amount of lifetime. I've been flying for maybe, I can't read it up there. It says 8 minutes, but I mean, I'm only at 63%, so hopefully we can keep that going. Now, some of the funner things to do with this drone are to go through very small gaps in trees. Now, it is fairly dangerous, seeing as if you were to crash, you would never get it back. You really just got to be mindful about where you're flying it at and, you know, what's around you. But something like this, I'm able to see every little branch pretty clearly. I'm able to avoid it and get some sick shots just like this. Now, treetop surfing is not something that I think many people would ever do, especially with an analog drone, simply because the trees add to so much of your static and your interference. It's just very problematic. You know, I have to say that this drone is fairly unique in the way that it's allowing new people to get into this FPV hobby. Now you might be asking yourself, if this is such a great drone, what could possibly be the downsides? Now if you're looking for a true FPV experience, you might not be getting exactly what you want. I'd say that a traditional FPV drone is a little bit lighter, it's a little bit easier to freestyle and flip, and you're definitely going to get a lot more durability out of it. I crashed this thing one time, as I said earlier, and the arm completely snapped off. It was not even like it wasn't even a big fall. It was probably maybe like 6-7 feet up off the ground, hit the ground, smacked around, and pretty much an entire arm broke. Like, that's crazy. This thing is super fragile. I would not want to be flipping this in somewhere where I was not completely confident in flying. That's just extra money. It was about $100 for a place. That's not something I want to do again. Now while we're up here, I'm gonna try to do a split S. Let's try it right over here. Please don't lose it, Eli. You know what? I could have done worse. Oh gosh, we're really gonna test our luck right now, aren't we? I'm just gonna have to play it extra safe, guys. I cannot risk losing this thing. Piloted aircraft nearby. Now on my screen, it just told me that there's a piloted aircraft nearby. I'm not too sure what that is, but that's a pretty cool feature to have. That's not good. Let's go check out the damage. From that incredible fail, I did not damage any of the props too badly. This one's a little bit scuffed up. They're all kind of scuffed up just from scraping the concrete, and it was kind of loud, a little spooky. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Overall, I'm fairly happy with how this turned out, guys. That was honestly a lot of fun flying, especially next to the grounding and stuff like that. I have to say, I would definitely recommend this to a beginner. You know, it is fairly expensive, and if you were to crash it, it would be costly. If you've got the funds for it, you should 100% go for it. Pretty much gonna be all for this video. I hope I was able to show you something and teach you something new that you probably didn't know before. Now, I am using a Torval sorry for mispronounced that, traveling bag, and I really like it so far. I will be making a video on it in my reviews just after I've had it for a few more weeks. I also hope you guys have a fantastic day. Farewell.